Hello everyone, my name is Luchara, and this is a little primer about the changes that Update 10 has brought to Eco to make sure everybody's ready for Eco Community Server number 13. Lucky number 13 should be good. I'm looking forward to it. A lot of these changes are positive, I feel. Not all of them, but for the most part, some really good changes. This video is not going to mention every change. There's no way. It would be like an hour long. There's so many changes. But I'm going to hit the big ones, make sure everybody's prepared. Please watch the video if you're planning to play on my server. So, first thing you're going to see when you log in is something that looks like this. Now, I want to clarify, this is not my server, right? Because I've already logged into it, so I can't get this screen on my server anymore. But you'll see something like this. So this is different starting points. Some of them will be like this, start near wild food, start near mining. And other ones will be start as a citizen of something, right? So what you're gonna want to do when you're on my server is click here, world layers, go settlements, and find the towns. Click on this to find the towns. Also, you can put it on 2D. I don't know. I greatly prefer the 2D map myself, but that's a preference. So this random server that I clicked on, you can see the various towns. When you go on my server, you're going to want to join a town first. And the reason for that is actually, let me show what my actual map looks like instead of this random server. Okay, so this is what my server looks like when you have the towns enabled. So there's 3 towns, one on each of the major continents. So you got Desert Island Town here. You got marshes and mountains. I just realized I misspelled marshes, typoed marshes. Oh, well. And Rainforest Island Town here. So there's 3 different towns. So you're going to want to start in one of those. And if you don't start there, so I need to back up. I'm going to try to keep this video brief, but I'm doing a poor job of that. And I feel like that's going to continue, but it is what it is. We tried to turn federations or the whole settlement system off. There is like a toggle for it, but you can't, I couldn't form a government. I couldn't get a government working with the settlement system off. It feels like when the developer said you can turn settlements off, you can, but not really. You can't have a functioning government if you do it. So we had to turn the settlement system on. So there's currently a federation that eclipses the whole planet. So if you're wondering why is there towns if you already have a federation that eclipses the whole planet? So because we have a federation that eclipses the whole planet, we have all our laws that we usually have in place. They're all in place. So why have towns, you may ask? Because people need to join the federation in order to receive their initial currency, right? Which obviously is very important. And I didn't want everybody to have to start. This is where the Federation town hall is. I didn't want people to have to start here, right? Because, you can't just swim across the ocean anymore necessarily, which I will talk about later in the video. So I created the towns in order to give different starting options. So as long as you start in one of these towns, you will automatically be a citizen of the Federation. If you don't, if you pick one of the other starter areas, which I can't see because I've already joined the server, but you will see more options. If you pick one of those, what you want to do is you want to come to one of these little town buildings. This is all there. There's a little building like this with a little foundation thing here. You click, you go to citizens, and you click apply. And it's automatic. You will automatically join. And then you'll be, and if you join a town, that puts you in the Federation as well. Okay, I know that's probably confusing. It's confusing for me too, with this whole settlement system. I'll be honest, it's been a pain in my butt. It's the one thing about this update that I don't like. Right? The rest of the update is pretty solid. So, join a town. That's the first thing you need to do. Join a town. So there's, like I said, there's 3 of these in the world. There's one here in the desert. There's one here in the marshes, and there's one here in the rainforest. 3 major continents, right? So just join a town as soon as you can. If you start here, you'll automatically join. If you don't, you'll have to come to the building, one of these 3 buildings to join. If there's any questions, let me know in the comments or on the Discord. So now I want to talk about claims. All right, so you start with your campsite, your tent, whatever, same as before. Want to clarify for record, not on my server right now, just so I can show what happens. So you place your tent, homestead of Luchara. All right, so you notice there's this claim stake here. It's very important to note this claim stake. So we have how big is my property here? It's pretty small. 2x2. So it's a little 2x2 right now, I think. Yeah. 2x2 claims. But if you take your claim tool at a storage here, now you'll notice you don't start with claim papers like you would have back in the old system. And obviously the claim tool is very different now. But you got your starter tools and your food, same as always. If you go to your claim tool here, you can claim 12 more spots, right? Because like, let's go to our stake here. We go to plots. We're at 4 of 16 here. It's really small text, but it's at 4 of 16. So we don't need claim papers. We just need to claim. So we can claim anywhere. Is it being weird? There we go. So you can claim anywhere as long as it's connected to your initial site. It needs to be connected to your initial site. Okay. Claim papers, to get more claim papers, they are no longer tied to skill books. You could read all the skill books in the world, they will give you 0 claim papers, right? So you're probably asking, how do I get more claim papers? So let's hop back over to my server and we can talk about that. More claim papers and claim stakes, you would come here to Kitty Hall. And special shout out to Kitty, Xandra, and Blackout for helping me for building all the government buildings, government stores, and everything, and just helping me test things, trying to get everything working. I've been, yeah, it's taken us all week to get stuff going. So this store right here, Claim Central. So you come here, and you can buy Federation claim stakes and claim papers. I thought I had way more claim papers logged in here. Anyway, you'll notice too, they're bought with claim tokens, which is a new currency we've created. The main currency we're using on the server is still the Looney, same as always. If you played in my servers in the past, you know, consider the value of a Looney to be the same as it's always been, roughly. Claim tokens, though, you receive just over time. You receive, what I'm doing for claim tokens is you get 0.2 of a claim token per hour. So every 5 hours you get a claim token. So you can come here and you can buy claim paper, right? Can I buy them? No, I can take them out, but I can't buy them. Federation claim stakes, you'll notice they're 5 times as much, just because they come like with 5 claims included. And that's how you would place a claim that's not connected to your homestead claim, to your primary claim. So let's let me grab a couple of these and a couple of these. I'll have this stocked up way more than this before the server actually opens, especially for the claim papers. This is, again, I'm recording this 24 hours before the server starts. So what you would do, now I have a homestead claim down already up on this island. There's my little homestead claim, right? So I would come up here, or wherever I wanted to claim. So you can do this wherever, you know, could even be next to your initial claim, but generally speaking, if you're using one of these, you want to go spread it out. So you just drop it, and it allows you, if you go here, plots 1 of 5. So with the claim tool, so if you go back to your claim tool, you will be able to claim 4 more around it. You'll notice, though, it's telling me I can't. The reason why is, and I don't love this part of the system, it's confusing. I fully agree it's confusing. It still thinks I'm trying to expand the last plot I expanded, which was for Government Store 3. So if you hit Tab to free up your mouse, and then you right-click on your claim tool, it'll bring up all your claims. So obviously I'm getting like all the government buildings and stuff. So I believe it's this one that I'm on right now. And this is what it'll start. The name will be Luchara Union Deed. You'll need to change the name, right? It's your property. It's not, it doesn't belong to the settlement. It belongs to you. And I realize that that's confusing because of the way it's named. So if I switch to that now, I can claim around here. So you're probably thinking, well, what if I want to claim more than 5? Do I need to put an additional claim stake down next to it? You could, or if you come in here, go to the plots tab, put claim papers. See, now it's 15. You can also do this at the homestead stake. The homestead stake is not limited to 16. That's just what it starts at. You can put more claim papers in there to make it bigger. Just FYI. So now this is 15. So I could claim up to 15 around here, right? And then if I want to come over here, I could drop another Federation claim stake. So basically you can buy 1 claim stake per day or 5 papers per day. And I'm perfectly okay with people buying or selling claim stakes and claim papers at their, at their stores. That's fine. But please do not sell claim tokens, or don't use your claim tokens as currency at your store. Please use loonies for that. I realize this system, it's new, it's confusing. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Discord, in-game, whatever. Just try not to inundate me with questions while I'm streaming is all that I ask there. So yeah, buy them from there, and you'll get the currency for these automatically. I know it's gonna be different because usually it's like whenever new scrolls come out, you get a big bunch of claim papers at once, whereas this, it's gonna be like just a steady trickle. But it's steady over the course of the whole server. You'll end up with roughly the same amount of claim papers as you would have in the old way, right? Anyway, oh my God, this video is going to be so long. What's next? All right, boats. So I believe there are 5 new boats total in the game. The first one's really easy to make. Anybody can make the first boat, the small canoe. Just at a workbench, you just need wood and hewn logs. That's it. It's like 20 total logs, which is like less than a single tree. Super easy to make the small canoe, right? And I just want to clear it to everybody. Everybody can make this. The shipwright makes the other 4 boats, but you do not need a shipwright to make the first boat, the small canoe, which is just this. And it does have storage, not a lot of storage, but it does have some storage. And you can just paddle it around. No, got to back up. And you can go in the water, because actually let's talk about deep ocean here. Ooh, why did I speed up there? Let's get out of the boat onto the dock. So let's talk about deep ocean. So if we go world layers, environment data, biome, deep ocean. So deep ocean always existed. It just didn't really matter before. You can't build over deep ocean. So you cannot build, you could not build a bridge over this pink part. You wouldn't be able to build an oil platform over this pink part. You can build over this water, right? But not over the pink water, right? And that's a change. That's new. And the other thing is, if you swim over deep ocean, now, so this is just regular water, right? I'm burning like 10 calories per whatever. But if I go out into the deep ocean, 150. Do you see that? 150 calories came off. So if you're planning to swim between islands, make sure there's no deep ocean. You're probably going to drown. And I'm just going to show what happens when you drown. Now, if it's like a narrow channel of deep ocean and you have like a full stomach, you could probably get across. But if not, well, we'll see it here in a minute, or less than a minute. Basically, you drown. You got 5 seconds to get out of the water, or you pass out. And basically, you're just returned to land. Wait, aren't you returned to land? There we go. No. You're supposed to be returned to land? I don't know what's going on. We'll be back. Okay, well, I had to log out back in again, but I was safely back on the dock. So, next on the list of things to talk about is research at the library. Much like my past servers, research is locked. You cannot make research scrolls or the research books. You can't make them at your research table. There's a law that prevents it. So, we're doing that at the library. So, you can see here, so December 16th, as soon as this stuff is researched, the scrolls will be available for sale. These prices are obviously not final prices. Everything's not going to be $1. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy research papers from people and turn them into the books. And we release them on certain dates. So this stuff will be released December 19th, for example, 22nd, 25th. And yes, I do think this is still going to release on Christmas. If you can't be on Christmas, obviously I understand. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be on Christmas either. But so it's different because we used to just buy the raw materials here, but we decided to buy the research papers instead. The main reason for that is these research papers now have a use they didn't used to have. They're now used to make upgrade modules. So upgrade modules are now made at the research table or laboratory. So the basic ones are made at the research table here, and they use mostly research papers, which is interesting because it's completely different. But you'll see, like, I like this change because it adds value to some low value professions like gathering. So gathering all of a sudden is an extremely important early game profession, right? Didn't really used to be, right? And geology research papers, so all the stones have a use. Then, you need shipwrights for this, loggers, miners again, or is it smelters? I think it's miners. And, you need campfire cooks for this. You need agriculture advanced. Is that a farmer or is that gatherer again? Farming. So, yeah, you need a farmer for that, right? So that's pretty interesting, in my opinion. And it's a good change. And then you'll see the advanced and modern papers are at the laboratory here. And again, the advanced mostly need these papers, although the modern ones, they didn't change these recipes for the most part. I mean, they've slightly changed them, but these modern upgrade recipes are basically the same as they've always been. But it's a good change. What I'm curious about is what's going to happen. Are people going to want to all get their own laboratory to make their own upgrades? Or is the server going to depend on, 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, how many people to be like the upgrade people? I could see it going either way. I'm really curious to see how that shakes out. And that's what part of the reason why I'm excited, because stuff is different. Stuff's going to be different. I'm curious to see how it shakes out, right? But one thing about this too, like especially like the gathering paper. So the gathering paper needs raw food, right? 30 raw food. Another thing they changed is wild raw food generation, how much of it, and how much it respawns. So you can see there's some corn, there's some tomatoes here, right? There's some flax down there. So flax is also new. But we're not really going to talk about flax right now. It's not really relevant. But I just want to talk about raw food briefly. Because there's less of it, and it's needed for research and upgrade modules where it didn't really used to be. Raw food is very, very important. Please, please, please do not eat raw food. At least char it first. There's not a lot of raw food, and any seeds you find, please put them for sale so that a farmer can buy them from you. Farming is way more important than it used to be, right? You could just, in past servers, for the most part, especially early, you could just take the gathering skill and gather wild crops and be fine. You didn't even really need to plant crops, especially early. Now you do. And it will help, like I said, and I say make sure you char the food. Like a charred tomato gives more calories than a raw tomato does. So just for the sake of everybody on the server, don't eat raw food. It's a waste. It's a waste of materials. Raw food is precious. And try not to don't grab all the wild food around you. right? Try not to hoard food, please. All right, what's next on my list here? All right, for anybody who's planning to be a miner, ore generation has changed greatly. You see, look, hey, iron, just iron at the surface. Great, right? You're probably thinking, but here's the thing. They changed the way all ore is generated. Like before, you could dig like what, 15 or so, 15, 20 down in the desert, and you would find a giant vein of iron that just went the whole desert, right? And if you depleted that, there was even more iron down below. That's not there anymore. Instead, there's just little clumps of iron all through the desert. And I think there's iron in grasslands now too. But like, you'll still find coal in the swamp or marsh, whatever it's called, wetlands. I forget what it's called in this game. What does it call it? Yeah, wetlands. Like the coal is still down in the wetlands, but it's in clumps now. It's not one giant strip like it used to be. So in theory, it means it's going to be harder to get ore. So I'm really curious to see how this shakes out. I'm kind of glad I'm not planning to go mining and smelting this run. I mean, I did it last run, but yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. It might be, ore will probably be more expensive than past servers because it's going to be harder to find, right? And stone's going to be cheaper because the miners are going to have to dig through stone to find the ore, right? All right, so the next change is strictly a server thing. It has nothing to do with update 10. And that is, I changed the way I'm doing the road districts. Technically, we've used this method in the past one other time, but we're reusing it here. It was like server 9, I think I did this. So this is the road district, but you can see it's like 2 different districts. So there's a law that prevents you from claiming in either district, right? But for right now, you only get paid for stone roads. You only get paid if you place them in I was going to say the purple, but I guess technically these are both purple. Purplish, the more blue one, the thin one. This is so this is roads, this is priority roads, right? So you can put roads in the roads, you just don't get paid for it. You only get paid for priority roads. Once enough roads are down, I'll turn everything into priority roads. At the very latest, when asphalt comes out, you'll get paid for everything. And like I said, I might open it up a bit earlier. We'll see. But yeah, this has nothing to do with update 10. This is strictly just something I'm doing differently. But yeah, update 10, there's a ton of changes. I'd be surprised if there was any profession that actually is the exact same. Everything's different. Like, and a lot of it's just little changes, like little fun changes. Like hunters now, they can make jerky essentially, sweet jerky, dried meat, dry fish, right? Just little changes like that, or like campfire cooking stews. All the stews need flour now, so you need millers on day 1. You didn't used to need millers till later before. There's no more stone ramps. Stone roads function like asphalt, where you just click F to put different forms in. That's how you do your ramps. So there's no more stone ramps. Coal needs to be crushed, right? Like raw coal, you cannot fuel your steam truck with raw coal. You need to crush it first. Quick lime is now a mason recipe, not advanced smelting. There's new brick recipe. There's new lumber recipe. There's a ton of changes. So everybody just, we'll get through this together. I'm really looking forward to it. But please, prices are probably going to be a little different because so much has changed. If you're going to like make a comment about prices, somebody's prices are too high or low, just try to be polite, try to be civil, right? You don't need to be rude about it just because somebody's prices are wrong. And I get it. Hey, I've been frustrated with prices myself in the past. It happens. I understand. But just try to, remember my slogan, be good to each other, right? But yeah, those are like the major changes. The claim system, I realize I don't think anybody likes it. I'm sure there are people out there, but nobody really seems to like that change. But everything else, I'm really excited. Like I said, like the little changes, like jerky for hunters, right? Like just, I don't know. But yeah, like campfire cooking, if you look like stew, needs flour, right? Is flour strictly from wheat or can you make it from, yeah, okay, it does need to be from wheat. So I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of worried. There's not a lot of places to get good wheat on the map, right? I'm worried about that, about the wheat potential. And I don't know why I'm showing this. I'm getting completely off topic. Like right there is like the only place on the whole map that's really good for wheat. I find that concerning. Anyway, I'm excited. Tomorrow, well, depends when you're watching this video, of course. Server opens. I'll see you there. Most importantly, folks, be good to each other. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.